like people who like to play cards with their friends a couple times a week or go to the Y and play basketball. My jam and my getaway and my hobby was stand-up comedy without any thought of pursuing a career.
When we were at Yuck Yucks, the first number of years, no one was going anywhere. Maybe on the Alan Thicke show. And Howie goes down to LA, and where he gets a huge break is on Make Me Laugh.
When I went down to California on a vacation, a friend that I had met in Toronto had access to the Comedy Store. I went up. As it turned out, there was a producer in the audience, George Foster, who had a comedy game show called Make Me Laugh.
The whole premise is people have to sit there stone-faced, and comics try to make them laugh.
Make me laugh, here we go.
If the contestant laughs, they lose.
How you doing, Janice? Okay, I want to tell you, I'm living in L.A. now, and living in L.A., you see all the tourists, right? From all over the world, right? Do you see a lot of tourists? No, but I do. That's what's good about me.
The guy asked me, he saw me on stage at the Comedy Store, and he said, "Are you interested in doing television?" And I said, oh yeah.
Howie would do anything to make them laugh. That's Howie Mandel. He will do anything.
1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4, 5 potato, 6 potato, 7 potato more. I am the chipmunk. Boom, boom.
I've never been to Hollywood. I'm a kid from the suburbs of, metropolitan Toronto, and the first time I go on stage, somebody goes, "Want to do television, kid?"
I believe in waffles with ridges. I'm the chipmunk. I am the chipmunk. Thank you.
When that aired, I got calls from Merv Griffin to come down and do the show. Mike Douglas, these are talk shows at the time. I got a call from Gene Simmons of Kiss to say, "Would you be the opening act for my girlfriend?" It just turns out his girlfriend happened to be Diana Ross, and I became Diana Ross's opening act. One thing led to another, and I kept commuting back and forth, and then I moved down here to work with, my first job down here was with Alan Thicke. He was doing Thick of the Night. I had done his show in Canada, and the rest is history. And then I've been asked to do a documentary. Then I got this.
The great thing about Howie is he has reinvented himself so many times. From being a comic, then he was a Canadian film star. He doesn't really acknowledge those because they went nowhere. Then he did Bobby as the animated series.
This is a song my mommy sings to me when I'm afraid in the dark.
He was on St. Elsewhere. And then he did Man on the Street, not only for Jay Leno, he did his own show. And then he found a real niche again, a whole new niche, when it came to doing Deal or No Deal.
I get a call in 2005, "We'd like you to host a game show." I go, "No, that's not what I can do." I didn't think it was I thought I would make a fool of myself. They said, there's this huge format all over the world. America is the last one to get on board. We want you to do it. We couldn't do it without you. And I said, "No, I can't. I know, I've been on these shows. I can't do what they do. That's not who I am. I'm just gonna look like an idiot, and I'm gonna be distracting. No." And I hung up the phone, and they said, "We cannot, I swear to you, we can't do it without you. Would you just take a look at it?" And I hung up and I said no again. And then the third phone call from my manager was that this was unprecedented, that they said NBC is giving 5 primetime nights to this, 5 hours to the show. They've never done that in prime time, at least in this millennium, to this game, which is gonna be huge. Can you just look at it? I said, "You know what, I've said no twice. I'm gonna say no again, but if they really want to, I'm in the Valley in LA, I'm at a deli. If somebody wants to show up and show me what this phenomenal game is, then do it." They said, "Okay." So Rob Smith from Endemol shows up at Jerry's Deli, and then he shows me the game, is Deal or No Deal. And I go, "There's no trivia, there's no skill set, there's not even, this is not a game. I don't really understand how this is going to hold people for an hour. I don't know, and I don't know what you want me to do." And he goes, "Well, I just wanted to show you it." I went home and I told my wife, and she said, "You're an idiot, take the deal." So then I call him back on Friday and I said, Okay, I'll do it. And they went, thank you, we couldn't do it without you. And I go, when does it shoot? And they said, Monday. I said, well, don't you have to build a set? And they said, well, it's built. I said, well, don't you need to hire models? They go, we have them. So I'm thinking, how many people said no to this game? How far down the list was I that I said yes, that it was starting in 2 days?
How much do you believe you have a 1 out of 3 chance that that is $750,000? Hello. Right. Okay. She just realized how rejecting a counteroffer can backfire.
His ability to survive and thrive and embrace new things and make them his own, I think that's why people relate to him so much, because they know that he cares about whatever he does.
I walk out, they go, ladies and gentlemen, Deal or No Deal with Howie Mandel, and I walk out on that Monday morning, and the first contestant is Karen Van, and she proceeds to tell me that she's a single mother of 3 and has never owned a home and never had health insurance, and her 3 kids are there, and oh my God, this is real. This is real. These games are real and they mean something. And I could see like in her eyes that there's this glaze of, you know, the audience, 300 people sitting there and 10 cameras and all these lights and the $1 million. You really want to articulate, and I want you to listen. And I want you to make the best decision and give me the best. That kind of took over for me, and I threw all the comedy by the wayside. I want you to know the odds. I want you to know, and that kind of informed who I became as a host.
It's sort of a circle that's come full for Howie. Although he does other things, it's like, okay, this got me there. I love doing it. I'm still doing it. I'm doing it again, because it lets him play with people, which he loves.
We did Deal or No Deal all over the world, but then the call came that Canada wants to do it, and I got to do it in Canada. It was expensive, and we couldn't keep going with it because they did it upright. They did it not like a Canadian game show. They spent, you know, the same bucks that they spend in America, and it was hugely successful. Any opportunity I have to go home, and to this day, if you hear of anything, call me and I'll show up in Canada and host it for you.